raw,
real,
and unscripted. Hi everybody, welcome to Off the Cuff. This is your host Sharon Kamau, and today you're not ready for this topic, guys. This is a topic that we often not talk about, but it's a topic that maybe majorly affects our dating life and also how we relate with people. We are talking about childhood traumas and how it affects our dating, and we are joined by a very amazing lady. She goes by the name Maggy, and she's going to introduce herself. Karibu sana Maggy.
Hi Sharon.
Hi Maggy.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I feel a bit nervous.
Really?
Yes.
There's no one watching you here.
Oh, it's just the two of us.
Me and you.
Okay, yeah.
But your production wamefunga macho.
Oh, nice. Now I feel better. It's just me and you.
Yes.
Okay.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Happy New Year. I've not seen you in a long
Happy
time.
New Year. I think I see you most of the time on social media.
Yes.
Yeah, so and I feel like it's like I always see you all the time. So
Yeah, so good to have you here.
Yeah.
We are glad to have you talk about childhood traumas and everything around it.
Yeah.
I am so excited for this topic, and most of the time we really don't know that. Probably our response, even our love languages, could be a response to the trauma we experience when we were young.
Yeah.
And this is how we respond. So tell us about childhood traumas.
Childhood.
Tell us about your childhood. How was your childhood like?
Ooh, okay. It's like I feel like now I'm opening a gate to enter a place I left. But now we are not supposed to left completely because you'll always go back. Yeah, I remember this verse in the Bible this story where Jesus heals another person, somebody somewhere, and tells him, pick up your mat and go.
Yes.
The mat it's like a testimony to the people. You once used to be on that mat, you did not walk.
Yeah.
So when people see the mat, they can see. So I feel like, our issues should be a sense of testimony to the society. Yeah, so Maggy here.
Yes.
Actually, najoko curious because pia wewe unaisikia for the first time.
Yeah.
So, kila mtu anakuanga na share yake ya childhood trauma.
Yes.
And I also had my share of it. I wouldn't say I was raised by my parents. Yeah, my mom gave birth to me at a very young age. And then she gave me away.
Okay.
To some random strangers.
Okay.
And when I was in nursery, ndio nilikuja kuambiwa class 1 nikaambiwa this is your mom, she came to visit. I used to live with a certain grandmother who was not very nice.
So she gave you out to people she knew.
Yes,
okay.
Somebody she knew.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then the grandmother was not, I would say, very nice. And I would do very odd chores as a young kid because I remember there was a time she sent me to go and fetch firewood. I think nursery. And then it was kuliko usiku, and then somebody akanichukua akanipeleka home, akaenda akamsomea kabisa, akamwambia unaweza tumaje mtoto aende akatafute kuni, sijui nini, what if something happens to her kwa forest. Okay. Yes. Na mimi sikuwa nakuwa scared because nimetumwa, I would fetch water.
So it's something that happened
often.
Yeah, okay.
After school, nikitoka nursery, go fetch water. It's very far. It was in Ukambani areas. So very far. And then ukuja uende utafute kuni, and then I would bring kunis that are not good, and then I would be sent back again. Yes, na unatandikwa.
You would be a kid.
Yes. Nini. So life ilikuwa hivyo. And again, I didn't know how to associate with other kids. So I used to be just alone all the time. And right now, in my adulthood, is when I am noticing those things have impacted me, the adult that I am.
Okay, so when you're living with this grandma, are there any other siblings? Are there people you're living with?
You see, it was just her, and then it was just it's like a si village, si watu wenye tujue kudescribe hizi vitu. You know, like a grandmother, and then she has sons wenye wako married. So there used to be other kids, but they were not close to me. So wao wako na nyumba zao. And I used to envy how they would be wanaletewa vitu, you know, tunaenda shule kifunguliwa mtu amebaiwa viatu, nini. Mimi narudi na zile zangu. But now, I cannot ask anyone. Mimi I only get what I am given. You know, Kenya nimepewa ni hivyo. I cannot talk.
And not even the best things that
exactly. Actually, I remember even my uniform. It was so big. Nasikia naumia ndani, but hakuna mtu naweza ambia. So when I'm alone, I would just cry. Cry a lot. And thinking about the things that I would want. Like, for example, kina nani wamebaiwa hii, waletewa soda, nini. Then cry. And then, you know, maisha inaendelea.
Yes.
So after your phase living with her, I remember I was in class 2 when now my mom came and took me. But now my mom has been a workaholic. She was very busy. So we didn't have like a relationship.
Yes.
It was just...
So your mom took you when you were in class 2?
Yes.
Okay.
She took me and then I came to Nairobi to live with her.
Yes.
Not Nairobi, in the slums, Uko, Mathare. You've ever heard?
Yes, I know Mathare.
Yes. Yes, so she was very busy. And now I don't know how to associate with other people. She took me to school, but now it was just for a very short while. For like, I think, like 2 terms. And then now she took me to Ushago Kwao, now home. And then again, I'm just Nico too. I don't know how to express myself. I don't know how to talk to people. And then I went to their home. And at least in their home, people are quite nice, you know. You would be given food, like we would eat different types of food. They are well off, a bit well off.
And like the other house.
Exactly. Where I used to eat ugali all the time in Githeri.
Is it because they didn't have, or is it because they didn't want to give you?
I don't know. Because we had a lot of fruits. Kulikuwa na fruits za every time. But me nilikuwa, like hata uwezi kula unaogopa unaweza tandikwa. Because there was a time nilipatwa nikikula nikatandikwa. Na your grandmother. Yeah, so I think they didn't have. Yeah, they didn't have.
Okay.
Yeah, so nikaenda kwa my mom's place. And then now these people are nice. They are nice, but now you don't know how to express yourself.
Yes.
And then again, of course, nikaingia shule. And then with my issues, you know, at least now my mom is asking, which uniform do you need? Uniform, pens, nini, and at least I felt I am loved. Nizo vitu za shule tunaambiwa. And at that time, it found that I really used to miss to be around my mom. But now she does not have time. So a lot of times nilikuwa nakaa chini nalia, because I would even dream just sitting with her tuongee, but now it does not happen because she's very busy. She's not around. Yeah. So
how often did you see her?
She used to come during holidays. Yeah.
But you're staying are you staying you're not staying in the same house? No, you're in Ushago.
I'm in Ushago. She's in Nairobi.
Okay.
Yeah. So she would call sometimes, ukoaje, and then say hi, and then your colleague Isha tu ninalia. Yeah, because I miss her. But I don't know how to say that, you know. And when she used to come like today, Kesha, and then leaves after 2 days. She goes back to Nairobi, and then I would be so heartbroken. Yeah. So nimemaliza primary school. Sasa nimeambiwa nakuja Nairobi kusoma high school where my mom is. Then at least life was better. We live in a better house, nini. And then I was taken to school. Now, I always wanted to be out. I don't know if it's because of how I was brought up. I wanted to be around people. I wanted to speak, you know. And nikiwa class 5 is when I discovered that I would want to be a journalist.
Oh yeah, of which you are.
Yes, I am.
Most of the people in class 5 wanted to be doctors and pilots.
Yes. But I didn't know the name of a journalist, but nilikuwa najua that person on TV who is seated talking. I want to be like them. Yeah. But now, so sikuwa najua vile inasema, so I would just say pilot, but I know no. So
some of us knew we wanted to be journalists, I think, when we were chosen in campus.
Even you?
Yes. Actually, even my class teacher knew, even on my teachers in campus, in high school, knew that I would be a doctor, because I was very good in math, I was very good in sciences.
Oh,
Kwanza
really?
biology and chemistry.
Yeah.
High straight A's. But they made chopping, senior neighbor.
We are sorry.
Anyway, so everyone knew that
Yeah.
I will do
Yeah.
I will do medicine.
Oh.
Yes, of which I was feeling, and your quality, this is not me.
Yeah. You're
Yes.
good at it, but doesn't
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
your thing.
Yeah. Would you say that what made you know that you wanted to become a journalist? Is it something
Number
that
one,
you
I was very good in English, like
Okay.
writing, not speaking, of course. Writing, and I would perform well in English. I had a good relationship with all English teachers.
Okay.
Yeah, like I loved reading stories. I would go to the school library, read the akina sijui Nyakio, Beautiful Nyakio, those hizo storybooks za kitambo.
Yes.
Napenda tu stories. And hata kama ni za Kiswahili, I just loved reading.
Yeah.
And if someone is telling a story, especially the ancient stories, I would be so attentive.
Yeah.
You know? So and nikiwa high school, actually I wrote a lot of scripts, of which one we it was part of the, if there's okay, hiyo nitaambiana siku ingine.
Okay.
Like I wrote a lot of stories.
Yes.
I used to write imaginary stories, or just listen to someone say something and follow up, and then I write stories. So I'm a
This is in
journalist.
class 5. Or
Yeah,
in
but
high
it's in high school.
Okay.
Nilikuwa nikiwa high school. I was good in English.
So in primary, in class 5, are you still the child who doesn't associate well with people, or have you
So,
outgrown the
what
fear?
happened is I used to say something and people would laugh, and then it's like I became funny. Ile unasema tu jokes ndio hufeel watu wanakupenda ile. Yeah, you don't know how to just like blend well with other students. Yeah, so like I would just make funny jokes to be accepted.
Okay.
And nikakuwa hivyo hadi class 8. I used to be funny.
Okay.
Like I would be funny. Yeah, so nikamaliza primary. Hiyo story imeisha ya kuwa funny, sasa unaenda another environment.
Yes.
And then now it's serious business, high school.
Mhm.
And then I remember when I was in Form 2, I went to a private high school. And it happened in this school, I was struggling. It was private school. So in private schools, you're supposed to be ahead of syllabus. And it happened, there was this time we were doing food tests. Biology, yeah.
Yes, that's
and I
biology.
didn't know how to do it. Hiyo ni mambo ya Form, I think 3.
Form 1. It's Form
food
1.
test.
Yes. It's Form 1, the last topic.
You are good.
Yes,
so
very
no
good
wonder.
in biology.
Oh,
It's
but
Form
I
1,
remember
the last
tukifa
topic.
hiyo yenye tulikuwa tunafanya ilikuwa ya Form 3. Ni vile si
Starch, I think.
Yeah,
Starch,
yeah, hiyo ya testing ya starch. I didn't sikuwa naijua vizuri. And then the teacher really embarrassed me. Akaniambia, look at you. Sijui kumbe mimi niko na issues na mimi sijui. Akaniambia, yani how comes a whole person like you don't know how to do food tests, sijui nini. Akaniita kwa staff room tena akanisomea mbele ya walimu. It really affected my self-esteem. Nika drop. I was not very bright, nilikuwa average student. Nikaenda kwa D sasa. Cause mbona ananifanyia hivyo mbele ya watu, wananihumiliate. I don't know how to be around adults. And I fear people. Actually, I used to fear adult people because of, I think my therapist the other day told me it's because of the beating of the grandmother. So I used to associate adulthood with people who just want to beat you. So ukiniweka katikati ya watu kama hao, I would shake. So ikani affect sana. So it even affected me even when I was doing my Form 4. But of course siku perform sana. So nimemaliza high school. Mimi najua nataka kuwa journalist. But now my mom is not able to take me to college because we are not very well off. Alafu niko na sibling pia kwa shule. So my mom was like, umefika Form 4 sasa wewe unaweza anza kujipanga. But then in this time is when God met me. I had gone to visit my aunt, and then she was like, we should go to church. Sijui nini. Like, I've never been to a church.
What are you telling me?
And then we went to church. And then that day, I gave my life to Jesus.
Okay.
And that's why, to me, today, I still feel like it's God who finds people. You don't find God.
Okay.
God is the one who finds you.
All right.
God found me. And then it was the whole church, over 5,000 people. I was the only person. I don't know where I got the confidence from. Nilifeel tu venye alisema, if you would like to give, nikafeel it's my time.
It's you he's talking to.
Yes. From that time, things started to change. And I will start by saying, I went to a teens church because of course I was still very young. Nikaenda, and then now naanza kufunzwa things that are relating with you nini, and then I started to notice niko na self-esteem issues. I don't know how to associate with my fellow. I always seclude myself. I don't know how to talk, but I want to be a journalist. Then I remember this one day I was really we were being taught about trusting God, telling God things that you would want to have in your life.
Yes.
And then I was like, I would really want to go to college. And
so this time you're born again, you're going to church, but you're still staying at home. You're going to church, coming back home, and nothing. You're doing nothing.
Yeah, nimemaliza form 4.
Yes.
Apparently, when I finished form 4, by God's grace, I went to a leadership college immediately. So, hapo ndio nilisaidika. That's why I got a lot of teachings, matters, godliness, leadership, self-awareness, you know, and all those things.
So that is what made you realize that you've been dealing with issues and a lot of trauma from your past.
No, actually, the issue of trauma, I noticed I had issues, but I didn't know how to. If I talk to anyone, they would just tell me, pray about it. But prayers are not working. And it happened.
And then you're so new in the faith.
Yes,
what are you telling me?
Hata sijui hata kuomba. Huyu God bado sijamjua vizuri. And it happened one day, God put it in my heart that I have childhood trauma. Actually, this one nilikuja kufind out nikiwa kampo. Sasa nimeshaingia kampo. I was chosen as a class rep immediately when I got into kampo. And most of the time, the groups zenye mnawekwa nazo za kufanya presentation, ni mimi juu ni class rep, lazima ni wa represent. Tumefanya research, tumefanya nini, everything. The class is expecting me to represent them. I stood in front of the class and I started shaking. Everyone looking at me. Hapo ndo nilijua mimi kwisha. Mimi nikisimama nikiongea, people would say, wisdom. But now, sahi nimetetemeka mpaka kila kitu yote about me wamesahau. Because then they can afford confidence to stand and speak. Me sina. Nakumbuka hiyo siku nikienda home from school, because mimi nilikuwa nasomea from Tao home. Nilienda kwa mat crying, mpaka the person who was seated next to me alikuwa anashindwa, akaniambia Ina kama umelose mtu, pole yake, God atakusaidia. Nini mpaka na feel because I was crying. So ndio nikamwambia God, please deal with me, nisaidie because najaibisha and it's not doing me any good. Now God dropped it in my heart that I need to start seeing a counselor. Ndio maana nilijua counseling is very godly. For anyone who is against counseling, tafadhali. Yes, there are people who say it's not godly.
Who are those people? I don't know.
Ni church people.
Yes. I've never heard that.
Now, going back to the leadership college, there's this guy that I spotted. And he spotted
Bring the story.
And this was now my first time officially dating. And then he was such a good person. And I liked him. He was my type. Can you just be honest? He was my type. I was so happy that God brought him my way. But now in this college, you cannot date when you're in college. You have to finish till you graduate and you date. You're not allowed to be in a relationship. So we played low. We didn't date, but we kept on knowing each other.
You guys.
And he was my facilitator. So he used to take me for dates, you know.
Mangi kumbe ulijua dates mapema.
Mimi niliharibika mapema. So he was nice. So after I graduated, we were like, you know, he was like, we you know, where is this headed? And then I was like, I like you, all those things zenye tunaambiananga. But now there was this side of me that was so afraid because I associated good things with they don't last. I was afraid that he might, if he knows me for who I am inside, he would leave me. And when he asked me to be his girlfriend, I was not sure if, you know, I remember kwanza alikuwa amepiga magoti, nilipiga magoti, and I was 19 actually.
Anyway,
18 actually.
Yani Maggy ulianza kupiga magoti 18 years.
Usicheze na mimi. Usicheze na mimi.
18 years. Sisi 18 years tulikuwa tunang'ang'ana na sisi hata tulikuwa tunaambiwa 18 years you're supposed to read mwanaume. Who's a man again?
You remember, my mom doesn't know what happens in my life, so me, I can just do anything that I want to. Yes. But now it happens that one thing that I liked about the leadership school, it really shaped me, matters godliness and leadership, personal leadership. So there are things that were in place. And this guy, I'm always grateful that he came in my life and taught me matters book. If you know me very well, you know that I love books. Even if I don't love reading them, I just love having them around. Yeah, so he taught me matters books. He's the one who introduced me to Dr. Miles Monroe. We would discuss, we would watch sermons together. And then with time, we dated for like 8 months, you know. And then for me, it reached to a place, I felt like he used to buy me a lot of things. Gifts. He was not actually very older than me. He was
Your love
like
language
2
is
years.
not gifts.
No, it's not. Actually, it's not. It's not. He used to gift me. And with time, I've come to learn that a lot of times, people love you with their love language, expecting you to understand.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's not supposed to be like that.
It is not.
Someone is supposed to love you according to your love language. Yeah, I love touch, give me touch. You don't love touch, it's fine. Yeah. What's your love language? Acts of service, I'll do acts of service for you. Yeah.
And I think when people are doing that, most of the time it's because they are not aware. Some of them are not aware this is their love language. So so that's why. So me and this guy, karibu ni mention jina. With time, I began to know that he was loving me the correct way, but me, I am struggling to receive this love.
God.
He's buying me, on my birthday, he would buy me gifts, take me to places, nini. And this is a godly guy, like, you know, he knows God. So mi nikaanza kufilikiwa burden. Naona anaweza kuja niache, he's too good for me.
Too good to be true.
Exactly. And then I remember I was praying for a relationship.
Do you think this was trauma response? Was
the reaction? Of course it was, because you're not used to people being nice to you. And actually every time you used to tell me I'm beautiful, I would feel like it's like he's making fun of me. And it's just that I didn't tell him. When he tells me, I used to feel acha uongo, because of course a lot of times the people around me and the kids, they used to tell me una sura mbaya wewe. And then me, I grew up knowing I'm sura mbaya. I didn't know I looked this cute.
Alright.
You know? It was just that the other day I noticed I looked fine.
Hey, you're fine, madam.
I look fine. So, then I prayed about our relationship, because this guy, hakuna kitu mbaya amenifanyia. He's just being so supportive and exposing me and helping me. Hata nakumbuka nikienda kutafuta kole, he helped me. And before I got to college, I prayed about it, because my mom was not able, because we have been taught in college, that in that leadership college, that there is nothing that is too hard for God. You can always tell God. But my faith was a bit shaky because of where I'm coming from. But when he says, even if the faith is a mustard seed size, trust him. And then I prayed, and then boom, from the blues, a sponsor that comes from nowhere.
Sponsors you.
A sponsor is just someone from the church. From the akasema we got to know each other kidogo. And then akasema hebu ende utafute shule, and then uniletee, uniambie shule gani unataka kwenda, what course and everything. It was like the best day of my life. And that was the beginning of me now learning how to trust God, you know. And then I went to college, and as I have told you how the things went because of my issues, the journalism, nini kujiaibisha, and then now it happened. This one day we were having a discussion in the group, iQuest actually. Yeah.
Okay.
When I'm still in college. So we were having a discussion, matters childhood trauma, digital discipleship.
Okay.
And then me, I don't follow on digital discipleship.
Yeah.
That day, it's like the Holy Spirit led me. I followed on the things the person was discussing. I followed. I was like, I'm such a victim of everything they're talking about. How childhood trauma shows up in your work life, how it shows up in your friendships. You know, nikaona na akasema, if you would want to talk to her, feel free to slide to her DMs. Like, kwani ni kesho. Mbio, I texted her. And I told her, I told her everything about me, how it's affected. She was like, hey, your case is serious. I would refer you to a psychologist that I know. I will give them your number, they will reach out. Okay. And then she did. And then I connected with the psychologist, and then we started our sessions. I remember the first day when I entered into that office, I was actually shaking. Me, I used to fear talking to strangers. You know, like na sweat. But I remember in our first session, I told her, hata venye naongea na wewe hivi mimi na sweat hivi hata nikafanya nikamwonyesha like I don't like talking to adults.
Before we go there to now you looking for a counselor and you know starting the journey of healing. How would you say that the childhood trauma affected your relationship, especially the dating life with now this guy? I don't know if you're still together here or
no, we did. I didn't tell you.
So how did it affect your relationship life, dating life, and also work life?
Number one, I just started working the other day. I've already worked on some things, but now imambo ni campo and behind.
Yes.
So this guy, it reached to a place, as I told you, I used to feel like he was just ni kama he's loving too much and I don't want. Like, what is it that you want? Seti anataka ku have sex na mimi because actually we were dating and sex was till marriage. You know, uni mtu wako serious nini, but now ilifika mahali me, I don't like to lie. I tell the truth that as it is. We had sex. And then sasa hapo ndio guilt sasa ikaanza kunikula vizuri, ama ndio alikuwa anangoja ama ni nini ama WhatsApp. And then now I went to prayers, and then I felt so deep in my heart that hii relationship if I in the first place actually so nikaanza ku distance kidogo, but now he's like we need to be communicative, but me na feel apana because me I don't feel like I'm being fair to him. He just does a lot of things kwangu na mimi sijui ku reciprocate. I just feel like there's something wrong with me, just that I don't know how to address it. So nikamwitanga tu siku moja, mimi nikamwambia me I don't feel like this relationship should, because number one ndio nataka kuingia kampo na I want to be fully in school and I feel like there are things I need to work on. It was like, if you want a break, you can go to Kampuki Mazawi, can continue dating. You know, you're a nice person. I don't know.
Was a good guy.
He was a good person. He was like, you know, nini. Nikamwambia pana. Again, you know, with the little reading yenye nilikuwa nimefanya, I had this understanding that if face ya kampu by the time namaliza, I will be a changed person. Maybe my perspective, I might meet someone else, you know, maybe better than him, I don't know. So staki na pia yeye ndio akitaka ku move on apate msee asikuwa ananingoja, because maybe naweza change, people change. So kama mimi I don't want to hold you nini. And then it took some time for him to accept, but then he did. I didn't break up with him ati juu nilikuwa nataka. It was hard because nimeshamzoea 8 good months to date and he's been there supporting me nini. We read books together. Nikasema so be it. So tukaachana. So ndio sasa nikaanza ku dig deep. I need to work on myself. Now I was totally sold out for Christ. Kama si shule niko Bible study, kama si prayers mahali nini. Ile to just God, can you know, finding God, I want to know God, because we didn't have a relationship with God. It's just that I came close when he brought me na ile unajua I was still a babe, so he would meet me where I'm at. I only go to God to tell him when I need something. But now this person cares about me. He's not a person like you, but he cares about me. nikaeka hiyo attention yote ya kulove mtu, I would want to know this person better. God I want to know you better. And ni shule na wewe. Mimi nikachana na mambo ya dunia. Nikachana na mambo ya dunia nyinyi, and then help peke yenu. Mimi focus ni heaven.
Heaven is the goal.
Heaven is the goal. Hey, hata hiyo season I remember I was so totally sold out that sasa nikaanza kuadmire. I would want to know how to speak in tongues, and I remember I learned that, and then it took me to a different level, and now I started now understanding God as a father. And now in this phase of now understanding God as a father, and actually my counselor, my psychologist ndio pia, and that's why I would recommend when you're going to a counselor, also, I would recommend you go to a Christian counselor.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because as much as we were working on my issues, she was like, I want you to start seeing God as a father. Not the father that you didn't have, but the father. A father. You know, father is a provider. He cares. He does all these things. He gives you. He does not want anything back. He just wants you. You need to know that you're taken care of. And when you're telling someone who has never had a father figure in their life such a statement, it's so heavy. It's heavy. Because, this is who God is. So the father who was supposed to be in my life, this is what he was supposed to do. And then kwanza kuna hiyo face ya kukaa chini, ufeel vile miss out on a lot. And now you have to do a lot of reparenting on yourself. So I began to understand God. And now, in this phase, a lot of things are showing. I don't know how to be friend. See it mean mbaya, but I don't know how to maintain friendships like you. I don't know how to keep up with our friendship. Kuna mahali tafika ama tu useme kitu da withdraw nitoke. Ama nione tu nakaa nijitoe. Na mara mingi, my personality is ambivert, but mimi am outgoing as a person. So your ambivert is as a result of trauma. Hiyo kutakanga kukaa peke yako. So like most of the time I love to just be alone. But now because that is who I have been, nimelearn kuiweka into a positive way. When I am alone, I read books, I listen to podcasts, I better myself. But I used to use that moment to see that girl uko Kambani akiwa kwa forest a lot of times. Saa zingine I used to go huko ndani naenda kukaa tu peke yangu naanza kulia, you know.
So this time you started counseling sessions with
the counselor. Okay. So ndio ananionyesha what went wrong where and how it needs to be addressed. These things are not easy to deal with because actually your life as an adult is a reflection of your childhood. Okay. And with every attitude with anyone, you can tell where they're coming from. Even the love language is as a result of what you need. Like for me, mine is words of affirmation. Nobody affirmed me. So my significant other kiniambia those na uliza bebu nataka nini. You know, so mtu mwenye anapenda touch, they were not cuddled as babies. That's what it means actually when you dig so much into psychology. Gifts, you wanted a lot but you were not given. But again, we cannot blame our caregivers. They tried their best. They gave you.
Probably that's what they had at
exactly. And there's hata wewe ukikuwa parent, you will not be a perfect parent. Watoto wako watakuwa tu na share yao ya trauma. Just that some traumas are extreme and some are just, you know, vitu unaweza deal nazo. So mimi Maggy ndio mimi huyo ikafika hiyo time I am so totally sold out to God. And now naenda kumaliza kampo sasa. Nimeshakuwa adult, nimeambiwa kwa counseling. All these things I need to deal with them because they're going to affect my relationships, my personal, my romantic relationship. They will show up in my workspace. They will show up in my ministry, in the things that surround me. And actually everyone you see is as a result of where they're coming from, you know. And if I don't work on them, kila kitu yenye ndakuwa na touch inaenda against me because kuna hiyo fear inside that I have not worked on. So when I broke up with my boyfriend, actually up to date I've never dated. And it was in the year 2018. But kumekuwa of course na hiyo watu but tunawaambia not now. Actually let me tell you, anything that is good at the wrong time is not healthy for you. It will itakuharibia mahali. So watu wamekuja hadi unaona ule potential but now unaona season yenye uko bado hujamaliza kuwork on some things, you decide to let them go because your life matters more, you know, because again you're trying to bring up a generation from your family where there's no hope for marriage. Where I'm coming from, I've never seen anyone married. Watu wajaenda shule, hakuna hiyo exposure yenye God amenipea kidogo, vitu mingi, God amenisaidia, at least nimetoka outside the country several times, sijaiona kwetu. So there are things when it comes to like matters relationship, you have to take it so seriously that take some time off kwanza, because this person that will come in your life, he's not only your person, he's the father of your kids, the priest of your home. He's gonna be the person that you have to submit to matters purpose. So ni kitu unafaa kwanza kuacha. My opinion, like we need to grow to a certain level ndio uweze kukuwa na clear perspective to see all those things, because
you need to hold people when you're coming to a relationship. You don't need half people.
Exactly.
You need to be very whole. You
very
need to be
whole.
completely healed when you're coming. Where go deal with the baggages, come heal. Go did come healed.
Exactly. So and I noticed when you have traumas and a lot of them, you attract people who are like you.
Okay.
That's why people kill each other. That's why people, and sometimes they might not kill you, but the relationship that you're in, it's toxic inside. Anaku abuse lakini wewe uone kwa sababu umezoea abuse in your family. Anashinda kukuitisha pesa kila saa, but you're not seeing it as a problem, especially for a man offense. Me, I find it offensive.
I should look for a red flag and come with it on set.
Unaweza zile unasema hapo nayo ni ukweli. Because why are you asking me for money all the time, you know? So you could have figured your life first before, because I believe when you're coming to date someone, especially for a man, you should be somewhere. Because you know yourself first. Si kuingia kwa vitu kama uja balance issues.
No, I think we are them.
Actually na pia usiende kutegemea, you know, even for a guy when you're looking for a chick, someone who is asking you for things all the time, it should be a red flag.
It feels good to be provided for, but not entirely.
But relationship, I feel like we should not actually be given unless tunaenda mahali ku travel, tuna share cost na maybe kukunywa tufai. It's dating. It's dating.
It's not a charity organization.
Na mjawana bado, you know.
So what has counseling taught you? In matters trauma response and healing from the trauma, and now having healthy relationship as a person.
Counseling has taught me that self-awareness is very key. God awareness and the enemy awareness is very key. And sometimes we have the enemy awareness and sometimes God awareness and miss self-awareness, and that's where we lose it. And then you start to blame God. Ati God ndo aliniletea umse. Because you lack self-awareness. God has nothing to do with your relationship. God has nothing to do with the decisions you make. So that's why it's good to take some time to just reflect and ask yourself, what happened to me by the way when I was growing up? Because you're not perfect, Sharon. You're not. Kuna kitu ilikufanyikia. And sometimes you find that there are people that always unaweza pata because of your trauma, you always attract the same person just in different bodies.
True.
There's what you want. Like for me, I used to notice even this watu wenye nilikuwa na like the ones who used to who have been coming in my life, there's something they had in common, all of them. So hii inanionyesha kuna issues sijadili nayo. So
you're attracted to the same people with in different bodies.
Yes, emotional and available people. You know, and that is what is familiar to me because my
you think that's the normal.
That's the normal. That's what I accept. When someone gives me too much attention, like my ex, nilikuwa na feel ananipea too much, mistaki ni mingi. Kumbe you're not used to that, and that is what is healthy. So when you look at yourself, uangalie, because this one goes even to levels of like friendships. The type of people you have. Toxicity sometimes does not look like abuse. It looks like you're always in the same place. Like Sharon, uko na friends wengi but wamekupeleka wapi? You see, mumeenda wapi? Do you have investments? Do you you know, we should see by the quality of your friends. But now if you just have people who wako tu hapo, they just waste your time and unafaa kuangalia what is making you attract such kind of people, because anyone who is in your life, they should be taking you to a different level. Yeah, so counseling has taught me self-awareness is key. No, it should be God awareness, because God, it's like a light. Through God, this is how I see it. When you invest your relationship with God, the Holy Spirit dwells in you, and then anaanza kumulika hizo vitu, anakuonyesha kuna trauma. So you will not have peace until you work on your trauma. Anakuonyesha kuna issues mpaka una work, you know. So God awareness, and then now self awareness. Actually, ukisha work on those ones, you don't need the enemy awareness, because of course anything that is not godly, obvious, it's the enemy. So it has helped me to understand that a healthy family can only come out of you if you have taken time, like deliberate time to work on your issues. And
yourself and your baggages
and
healing.
Because you're the one who is going to decide what kind of a family that you're going to have, the kind of a man that you need, and this man, you can only attract him according to your level of healing. You can never go far. Utakuwa unawataka lakini utawafikia. But now when you heal to that level, you will get who you want.
Okay, all right, that's so interesting. I think this is an eye opener, because most of us tumekuwa tunashanga relationships zetu zinakuwa 3 months tunarudi zero. I don't know if you see that meme that mtu anapandanga stairs, single, married, dating, courtship, unarudi kwa single. So probably that it's because we have not dealt with those small things, and we really need to deal with them. And I always say, come in a relationship whole, come in a relationship completely healed, come in a relationship when you're the person, yani usikuje ukiwa nusu expecting the other person to feed you. My friend was asking me, can you date yourself?
Actually that is the question you should ask yourself.
If, of course, if a man was like you, would you be in a position to date yourself? And if you cannot date the person you had, then you have no business, actually. Because actually you should look at trauma as you wanting to hurt someone else who has nothing to do with whatever. You know. And also, of course, nobody heals completely. We are all in a journey, because every level will reveal things about you, because everything is, kila kitu tu inaku affect. Kuna mtu atakwambia kitu sasa utaikumbuka 10 years ukikuwa triggered na mtoto wako. You know, we are always working on ourselves. We never get kuna level yenye utafika, it is manageable. And also with God's grace, one thing I love about God will always bring someone who will help you to help you in your healing journey. Like God atakuletea msee mwenye anaku understand, amsumbuani. So nobody heals like completely, but kuna ile tu level fulani, because nobody gets there. How will a person know that they have trauma? Because people have trauma and they don't know it.
How will a person know? Imagine even the context of your word. As in, mina yonanga vizuri sana. Like one date is enough to tell me whether we are, you know. It's just that sometimes wacha tuka slide. But I can see it. Because if you work on self-awareness, you can tell. Because with the quality, with the things, like something as simple as just mtu anaongelea watu wengine negative, like you're always negative about other. It's an underlying issue.
I've actually seen that in so many people.
Ama mtu ni mstingy, and especially it's a guy. Like,
so guys anafaa kukua.
As in, mtu ni mstingy, iko na underlying issue. Someone, they could be people who goes to church, but they don't have a, they are Christian, but not godly.
Okay.
That's why unasikia watu wako na issue na church guys,
church boys.
Because they are just Christians, they're not godly. When someone has a relationship with God, you can tell, because the character speaks for itself. There are things you'll not have to communicate. This person has already taken responsibility, because with godliness una learn kukua responsible. You know, you will, depending on what you're looking for, like when you meet people, you can just tell. When you're having conversations, unaweza feel hii hapana. Na mahali unafeel understand, please go and ask. Usijingize kwa relationship alafu ikwe a lot.
Okay, all right. So what will you tell that person who is dealing with trauma and has not sought help. He or she is in that cocoon of trying to get help, and ako tu hapo figuring it out.
Yeah.
What would you tell that person?
Number one thing that I would highly recommend. Number one, I really recommend God.
Highly recommend.
Achana kwanza na counseling, I highly, because unaweza enda counseling ukanseliwe kitu yenye bado you're not in the season yet, because you should always go for counseling sometimes, but hauko kwa hiyo season. I highly recommend, achana na pastor wenyu, anaweza kuwa anaongelelea, sijasema pastor wenyu ni mbaya, but learn to depend so much on the Holy Spirit, because he knows what you need when. I highly recommend God. Talk to God. Tell God about how you're feeling. Mwambie tu, and understand. He's just waiting for you to tell him. Anajua. So ukimwambia tu atakumit mahali huko. Number 2, please, because you can tell when you're dealing with a lot of things, like misunderstanding with people, achana mambo ya relationship kwanza, because you're hurting innocent people. You're hurting,
oh my God,
people who have nothing to do with your trauma.
Yes.
Work on yourself first, your relationship with God, and then invest in self-awareness until you're now healed to a point where by being with yourself is peaceful. Imagine you have no business dating. Because people come and go. What if you date and then you go frustrated just because alienda. Imagine mtu akienda inafaa kukuacha ukiwa whole, because you had a life before this person came. So invest in self-awareness and godliness, and then now with godliness you'll know which areas you need to be counseled in. And also, like, hata kama ni podcast, skiza places kama, like, this is a good platform to learn from my story, somebody else's story, and then pick things and then sit down. One of the things that I have learned that we are so afraid of is spending time alone. Hiyo kitu inakuanga ngumu sana. Ukikaa chini ujisikize na uone what you need, and then you start working out on those things. I promise you will be so better in the next few months, hata see years. And then now, when you have invested in that, you can now go out and say you're ready to date.
Sure.
Give people a good person. They deserve good people. Give people what you want to be given. Okay.
Yes. All right. I really love it, and I think also it's also a way of talking to me. I've learned a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, because at times I meet with people and I'm like, you're so bitter. I mean, like, I have friends who are, nothing comes good out of them. Nothing to everyone. Every time she's complaining, when she sees someone, ako too so negative. Wait, kwani kuna kitu mzuri unaonanga? But it's something like
sort of underlining issues.
Underlining issues that you really need to deal with. And we are so glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And I hope our audience have really learned a lot from your story, and we look forward to having you in many more,
the near future.
Many.
Guys, I would like to come again, please.
Many more episodes to come, and
thank you so much for having me. I am so glad I have been able to share that part of me, and it's a blessing, because when God saves you from something, it's good you go and tell other people. So that also them, they can believe for themselves for whatever they are going through. It doesn't have to be like my trauma. It could be a trauma in something else. But now, because you have seen me here with this, it gives you hope to become better.
It also serves as an eye opener. Probably people have been attracting the same people, responding to people in a different way. You don't know, but since you've talked about it, they have known what is happening.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you so much.
So thank you very much, guys, for watching this amazing episode. This is Off the Cuff. Remember to share, subscribe, and comment.